Real Hustle podcast, hosted by Chris Kiblin. Real hustle, real people, real results.
So what's up?
What's up, Chris?
How are
Thank you
you?
for having me. I'm good.
So we have Alice here, who is a business owner. She is an IFBB pro.
Bikini,
right?
Yes, bikini.
So,
6 days out.
So plus you're getting your peak week for a prep right now.
But
So you
just started peak week, so I just got carbs. I think that's why I'm here. I'm a little happy.
You're a little happy because
Yeah.
you finally got some carbs in you?
Yeah.
So before we'll talk about like because I'm very interested in learning about your peak week because you've come quite far in a short amount of time.
Yes.
So, but let's kind of talk about. We start a little soon, like a little later in life. Like
rewind.
let's rewind a bit.
Yeah.
So like let's talk about because you were in the military, your army, right?
Yes.
How long did you serve?
I did 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, I did a deployment and I did reserves.
Where was your deployment at?
Guantanamo.
Oh, that's right. You were down.
Gitmo.
That's where you were
I
with
was
him.
in Gitmo with Eddie.
Okay,
yeah.
got you. I was wondering where you were. Okay, that's right. Because you were down there for a year.
I left early, but yeah, our whole deployment was 9 months.
9
Yeah.
months. Okay.
I was happy.
I heard it was interesting down there. That's what Eddie was telling me.
Like a 50% torture work and then 50% vacation because you're like off and then you go fishing. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Because that's where they keep like a lot of the criminals, right, and stuff like
yeah,
that. The
we
really
got
bad
to work
criminals.
around the camps. They don't call them prisons.
Okay.
Prisons because they're not prisoners. They're detainees.
Okay.
Gotta respect them.
Okay.
But yeah, it was interesting to see them. They're just regular people who have done bad things.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
Saw them feeding pigeons, playing soccer. Like, it was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was neat though. It's nice to say, I've been there. So
Right. So, and now were you an MP? Is that what you were?
yes, I was an MP.
So
So
even
we
down
did-
there?
We did mostly like external security force. We just manned the gates and rode around, checked the perimeters, made sure everything was okay.
Did you have like did you guys do like a 24-hour on, 24-hour off, or what was the?
No, some platoons did. Me and Eddie's platoon, we did the night shift.
Okay.
So yeah, that has actually messed up my sleeping schedule still to this day. Like I'll wake up throughout the night all the time. But yeah, we did 8-hour shifts. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Sometimes 12
Right.
hours, but it was pretty easy.
Normal 40 hours a week, or?
I mean, when you're in the Army, it's not really.
I know.
You sign your life away.
I
They're
know.
making you do
I was
extra
there.
shit all the time. So it's on shift. Yeah, 12-hour shifts. I think it was 4 days on, 4 days off, which is honestly isn't that bad.
No.
And then on those 4 days off, it was training days. So
Right.
yeah.
A lot of training. I know Eddie was always sending.
Oh my god!
All
One
kinds of
time
training.
he made us run like 5 miles in like the heat in Cuba at 2 p.m. I was dying, but it was nice. He kept us active.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So now, what rank did you get to?
I got to E4.
E4?
I think it's funny because I love the military for what it did for me mentally. I grew up a lot in a short amount of time.
That's why I joined.
Yeah.
I grew up because I knew I needed to grow up.
Yeah, it's all you get there and it's like, oh shit, like I'm out here in the real world. I got to figure this shit out. So it helps, but I think once I was in for a few years, I was like, okay, this isn't for me because I'm more free-spirited leader, and you have to.
Oh yeah.
You got to take shit.
Yep.
You're
You gotta
small.
kiss ass.
You're an enlisted.
You're nothing.
You're nothing.
They're
You gotta
nothing. They used
sit
to
there.
drive me crazy when the officers you just go away.
Yeah,
I just
even if you don't salute them
'Cause-
correctly,
right. Oh,
some
yeah.
of them will snap on you, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to have a regular morning. So I think that's what kind of turned me off to it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay at E4, get out, and
That's what I ended up as an E4.
do my thing.
I was a
Yeah.
specialist or whatever you want to call it.
Specialist.
Corporal, specialist, whatever name they want to call it that week.
Yeah, they change it all the time.
So, all right. So then you were. So when did you get out of the Army?
I
How long ago was that?
actually, since
Wait.
I was reserves, I just got out in 2021.
Okay.
But I got back from deployment in 2018 in March. As soon as I got back, literally the day after, my dad was like, all right, let's go to work. Like, you're going to go to work with me. And then the next chapter started. I started doing this.
And how old were you then?
I was 20. I
Really?
was only 20. I'm 25 now. So it's been 5 years of doing this.
When did you? So you joined what? 18?
I joined when I was 18,
That's
straight
when I
out of high
joined.
school.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
I literally didn't even have 2 weeks after to enjoy
I had like
the summer.
4 months or something like that, but it wasn't much. And but I did the same thing. 'Cause all my friends were going away to college.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the? How do I do now, right? Because like I hated school. I was terrible
I
at school.
hated school. I didn't go. I got D's.
Yep,
I
that was
just
me.
passed.
Yep.
Like
I
just
barely
wanted to
graduate.
graduate.
Yep. I'm the same way. I was the same way. I was like, I hated school. I didn't want to be there. I went to school to socialize.
Yeah.
That was it. It was the only reason I went.
Yeah, it's like I go there to hang out with my friends. That's where
it.
my best friends are. Yeah.
Yep, that's the only reason I went. I wanted to go hang out with my friends, but I did not. I hated school. So got out, graduated, and then I joined the Army.
Yeah.
For the same reason. I knew I needed to grow up. I needed something.
MOS.
So I was a 63 Bravo, which is forever ago. So I went in 1992,
Okay.
and I got out in 2000.
Oh
So
shit. Okay.
yeah, so and I was 63 Bravo was a lightweight mechanic,
Okay.
and I worked on Hunt fees and the deuce and the
Yeah.
halves and the 5 tons.
Now I think it's 68 Mike. I think that's
I-
what
I know
call
they
it now.
changed
Yeah,
it,
they
yeah.
change everything all the time.
Yeah, so they changed it, but my favorite thing was to do, and I didn't work on them a ton. I mean, but really, my unit was a doctor's unit. I was a hospital unit.
Yeah.
So basically, I drove around the doctors and nurses.
Yeah.
All the freaking officers.
Yeah.
And
God.
and Hunt fees. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So it was like, they love the Humvees, and so we just take them everywhere. So that was my job.
Yeah, it's like they think we're badasses, but if you're not deployed, like you're really doing shit like that. You're standing there checking an ID at a gate, and here you go, sir. Have a good day.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's pretty much,
Yeah.
I know. And so, but no, it did a lot for me too. I was the same way. And I was like, I knew I needed to grow up. So, all right, so you got out, so 5 years ago, dad owns a business, right?
Dad owns a business.
And he's like, let's go to work.
Not gonna lie, when I started working for him, I think he was paying me like $500 to $600 a week, and I started like doing the math. I'm like, wait, these are kind of like my Wendy's paychecks back in the day. And then I started just paying attention. I learned how to measure jobs, how to talk to clients, how to order materials, where to get the materials from, what different kinds, and then like a year or 2 years later, I was like, you know what? I was actually like broke as hell, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go make flyers with my number on them, and I'm going to advertise. And I took all the pictures I had on my phone, went to Fast Signs here in Sarasota, and I made 1,000 flyers. And then I remember as soon as I got the flyers, like a week later, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And I took all the roads here in Parrish, and I put them on each mailbox. So when they wake up in the morning, check their mail, it's on the little mailbox flag. I'm like putting people on right now. So, yeah. And then I started getting calls. And at first it was like, I'd get one job a week, sometimes one job a month to hold me over. And now it's been 5 years, and you do one neighbor, the other neighbor refers you, and you just keep doing good work and keep going.
So how many are you doing now? A month or a week?
We're working every day. I got 2 crews.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've
And
grown that
they're
much?
they're my crews. I got my sealers. They do the pressure washing and sealing, and then I got my guys installing.
Now I know who. So you do pressure washing?
Yeah.
Well,
do
now I know who to call.
I
need the
got
house.
you. I know those papers are probably dirty if you live around here.
Oh yeah, well I live up in Lakewood Ranch, and I live in new construction. So there's
Yeah.
like new construction going on right behind my house.
All that
and
dirt.
everywhere.
And then rain, and then
And,
dirt.
yep,
I already
it's
know.
it's bad.
I'm your girl. I got you.
So you got 2 crews now, and now you're just crushing it. I mean,
yeah. The goal is to get maybe 4 or 5 crews.
Okay.
Who knows? But
and you're only 25.
I'm only 25. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I battle with like, I'm 25. I should go have fun, like go to the club and go to the beach, go fishing, do something. But I'm like, I'm locked in right now, and I think that once I started competing is when I really locked in to work.
Okay.
And
The discipline.
Yes, because you realize like I have to sacrifice everything right now to get to that glory day. So
You're doing more than most 25-year-olds, that's for sure.
yeah, I try to, and it's good to be talking about it because I hope I can get more people to lock in, because it's always going to be worth it, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
So you started the business. what kind of struggles did you go through? Was it, like, I mean, trying to find people, going through people? Tell us a little bit more about the business side of it. Learning the business?
Learning the business. I've ordered 11 pallets extra before, had $2,000 worth of materials sitting around me, didn't know what, because I didn't know how to measure. I've used wrong products on pavers and it came out bad. Like, now I'm like the best freaking sealer ever. I could say that because I fucked up a lot. And what else? I've undercharged. I've overcharged, didn't get the job because I didn't. You got to know how to talk to people. Sometimes people won't even go with you because of the conversation that you bring them. You know what I mean? You got to know how to read your client, talk to them comfortably.
Well, I do that all the time in the mortgage world, because in the mortgage world, I can kind of tell as soon as I'm on the phone with them what kind of person they are, right? Are they analytical? They data driven? They want to see numbers? How, you start listening to them, you can kind of just tell how they are.
Yeah. Some people want to know everything. Some people just want to know that they can trust you and be comfortable with you.
Right.
Some people don't even want to be your friend.
No.
They're like, get this shit done and that's it. How you
I don't
want
to be your friend. Just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, you got to learn the different ones. It took a long time. I mean, I've had machines break on me, and you wake up, I've left my trailer open and my pressure washer, all my materials were stolen.
Oh,
you're
Jesus.
like $5K in a hole in the morning, and you're like, shit, now I got to go rent something, make more money, get it all back. Like,
wow.
I've been through a lot.
You have been through a lot.
It's been a long 5 years, but I think
you've learned a lot.
Yeah, the past year I'm finally in my groove. I'm finally getting there. Yeah.
Okay.
It takes a minute. People think it comes fast, but this shit takes long. It's building. It's building block by block. Yeah.
So now, do you just do cleaning the pavers, or and sealing, or do you actually do pavers? Like, do you lay pavers?
No, I lay pavers. I don't lay them myself.
Right,
That's what I have my crew for.
Right.
Yeah, I finally hired them in September.
So like driveways, pools.
pool decks, patios, parking lots, anything. We literally build anything out of a brick paver. Yeah.
Because we have pavers in front of our house, and I keep talking to Debbie about doing pavers around the side, like a sidewalk to get to the pool cage.
Yeah, people do that.
Yeah, because like it's what we started seeing in our neighborhood, and and we started seeing, because like the thing is like there's no way to get in the back, right, without stepping on the grass, right?
Yeah.
So we've been seeing a lot of people do that, and it's crazy. Like some of the work that you can see, I can only imagine the cost for some people.
Yeah,
I'm sure it gets up there.
It gets up there. I've actually I've had people spend like $100K on their driveways. Like, it really depends on how much square footage.
Yeah.
And you got to find that right client willing to
out
break the bank,
right.
because that's the price.
Well, if you're going over to Anna Marie, you go over to Anna Marie Island or any of those other places, those brick pavers are going to cost, because it's all the way around. Usually it's that big loop.
The city regulations, another thing I had to learn. It has to be a certain percentage for the slope. You got to have concrete under the driveway already. So you're already spending $3,000 to put concrete under your driveway before you even put the pavers
really?
on.
I never knew you. I didn't know you
need to do that.
You have to put concrete down first.
In the city districts.
Okay.
Like around downtown and in the beach. Yeah.
Really? Didn't see. I learned something today. I always thought it was just pavers. I just thought people just laid the pavers.
It's picky. Sometimes even the HOA will be like, nope, can't do 4 feet, or can't do 4 feet, go down to 3, and you got to go down to 3. I guess it's the percentage of the water drainage that you have on your property.
Gotcha. Look at that.
I just learned that not too long ago, a couple months ago too.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I don't care what job you're in, you're always learning something, right?
It never stops.
It never stops.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So now, part of the reason I wanted to, another part of the reason I really wanted to have you on the show is because you've done something quite, probably the fastest I've ever seen, as becoming an IFBB pro.
Yes.
Talk us through the process. What made you want to what made you want to compete first, and then talk to me where you've gone from there.
So I actually followed this girl on Instagram. Her name is Crystal Hayes. She's an IFBB pro. She would always post about her journey. She used to be heavy into drugs and down bad, and bodybuilding saved her life, which I have heard that many times before, and I think that happened for me. Because actually, another thing, I used to not eat. I used to have a very bad eating problem. I'd go to the hospital all the time.
Wow.
I was just always
Like an
anxious
anorexic
and
or
not anorexic. It was just like I don't want to eat right now, and that would like drink a protein shake and then have like a small fry, and that would go on for days, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm malnourished, I'm sick. And I've been to the hospital for that many times. It was really a mental thing, I think, because of stress. But I started going to the gym, started eating a lot. You know, you get hungry, and I'm like, damn, like I'm finally gaining weight. And I follow this girl, and she's talking about prep. I'm like, what is prep? What is that? What is bodybuilding? And then I started going to AMPS, and I met Matt, which he was a prep coach. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe one day, but we'll see. I start training with him. We're training heavy, and he's like, dude, you'd be perfect on stage. Like, you have the physique. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll do a show, see if I like it. That was in 20...
Now, did you do your first show here? Was that here?
It was in Tampa.
Oh,
yeah.
the Tampa Pro? Or
No, I did Mel Chansey Muscle Championships. Yeah, that was my first show.
That was your first... Because I think we were there, actually, for that show.
I think Debbie was there.
Yeah, because I was with her. Yeah.
I remember that. That was my first show ever, 2022.
Okay.
April last year. That shit's crazy.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You came a long way in a short period of time.
So I did that show, and the judges were like, they're like, go to nationals. Like, you really have a pro physique. So
now, did you do wellness first?
I did wellness first.
Yeah, that's what Debbie was telling me that you did wellness first.
That is another thing that ties into the eating thing.
Right.
From being skinny for so long and not having good eating habits, when I started working out, I wanted to have big legs and be thick. You know what I mean? Like, look like a woman. And I would always say, I don't want to do bikini. Those girls are way too small. They're too skinny. I don't want to look like that. So I got down to being like stage lean, and obviously once all those legs, that leg fat comes off, those quads are not there anymore. I'm like, okay. They're like, hey, you'd be perfect for bikini. And I was like, you know, you can either be mad. I'm a person that like calculates my success. I can either be mad and be like, fuck that, I'm gonna keep doing wellness. I'll sit here and bust my ass for another 3 years to do it safely, because you know, you could do it fast or you could do it slow. You know,
or you do it the right way.
Yeah, you can do it the right way or the wrong way.
The wrong way takes years off your life. But I was
like, you know what? Like, I went online and I'm like looking up all these big bikini names, which I didn't even know who they are. Janet, Laura Lee. And I'm like, wait, like I really do look like them. I'm like, I could really do this. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try bikini. And I fucking am good at it, and I love it now. So,
well, obviously, it's good for you because I mean, you basically. So, if I recall correctly, so you went and you did your first show, but then how long? It didn't take. What was it? 6 months or something before you got your pro card?
No, it wasn't 6 months. I did my first show April 9th. Wellness.
Okay.
April 16th, the next weekend.
That's right. You did back-to-back shows.
Yeah, I did back-to-back shows. I went the next weekend for bikini. I'm like, okay, let me go do another show since I'm doing bikini now and do the bikini poses, be on stage with bikini athletes. I ended up winning the overall there.
Right. I remember that.
So I'm like, okay, this shit's really for me. And then that was April 16th, and May 14th, actually yesterday was a year I got my pro card.
So within 2 months.
So within like a month, 4 weeks later.
Was that nationals that you did?
Junior USA's. Okay. I won the overall bikini at nationals.
Where was that at?
Got my pro card in Charleston, North Carolina.
Okay, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty awesome day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, well, obviously, because that's the thing is like Debbie, we were talking and we were talking about your physique and all, and we're like, you have the perfect body for bikini.
Yes.
And
the structure's there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you do, and you know, you got the right muscle, you know, tone and everything.
Yes.
And so, and then I was like, well, Eddie knew you, and I'm like, and he was like, yeah, she used to be in the Army. I'm like, what? I was like, that doesn't happen.
I think when people connect those two, they're like, oh, that's why she's like that.
But the thing is, though, like, I'll be honest with you. Okay, most people, and I'm not trying to judge anybody, but when I was in the Army,
yeah,
most women they weren't exactly attractive.
Yeah. I know.
So you know what I'm saying?
It's different now, though. It's different now.
That was
These
a long
girls are
time
like,
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like wearing buns. They got their hair in braids now. Like
So-
the army, the army's changed.
So when I was in the army, you're like, so like, but like that's when he was like, oh yeah, she was in the army. She actually served underneath me, and I'm like, what? And then so you got your pro card, and then like you've been. And then you started like you actually been doing well in this too, right?
Yeah.
You just did a show, a couple weeks ago?
I did a show a couple weeks ago. So far in my career, I've gotten in the first call out in all my pro shows. I've only done 4 though. But I did do. See, it's easy to say that later in the season because everybody, the top Olympians are like chilling.
Yeah, right. They're already stopping.
Yeah, they're already stopping.
Except for Natalia, of course, she's still going.
But now I'm like New York Pro. I'm going on stage with the big dogs. So like I'm excited to see where I stand in that lineup and just what I look like.
Compared to them.
Compared to the greats. You know what I mean? Like, these girls really do this, so I want to be like them.
Right. No, I mean, that's what you want to aspire for, right?
Yeah,
obviously,
of course.
And then you want to get to Olympia.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
yes.
So, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, you're already hitting it faster than most people.
Yeah.
And so what was the last show you just did? Was that?
I just did Charlotte Pro 4 weeks ago,
and
or 3 weeks ago.
What were you, 5th or 6th?
I came 6th place.
6th.
Yeah.
In that one?
Yeah, there was 6 girls in the first call out.
Right.
I came in 6th.
That's still pretty friggin' amazing.
It's pretty good.
It's only a year, and you're coming in 6th.
Yeah. And that was with a new coach. We found out.
Who's your coach?
He is Sebastian Alvarez. I'm with the heavy unit now.
Okay.
He found out a lot about my body that show. We had a lot of trial and error. Okay. So now I'm excited this week we're changing the whole protocol,
So this is prep week for you. So,
yes.
So everybody listening, this is prep week. So we're getting ready to you're getting to do the New York Pro this coming Saturday. This is Monday. So everybody watching, you know. All right. So which means you're on high carbs right now?
We start slow. It's Monday, so I got oats this morning, and I get 2 rice meals today. Tomorrow might get a little bit more rice, and then...
So how much carbs is that? Is that like 150?
I get 100 grams of rice twice and 40 grams of oats. I'm not sure what the macros are, but...
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, but I'm getting 200 grams of rice and 40 grams of oats. It's not that much right now, but
when you don't have any...
I'll take anything.
Because you probably just came off, no carbs, right?
I was doing no carbs for 3 days. Yeah, we had to complete deplete. Yeah.
That's how you come back stronger, right?
Yeah.
So I know I've been through this so many times. I mean, I competed last year. I mean, I just wanted to compete. I'm nowhere near, and you were Debbie's level.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to do it, and just doing that shows you such a different appreciation.
It does.
And it's like going through it because you don't understand. Like most people don't understand what it takes to go through what it takes to be on stage.
It really is. Really learning how to listen to your mind. Like, you feel like shit every day. Sometimes I'm like nauseous in the morning, hungry as hell. My last meal was at 10. I'm waking up on a weekend at like 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh shit, it's been 11 hours since I've ate, and I still got to do fasted cardio before I can even get eggs in my system.
Oh yeah.
And you're just feeling like shit. You're dragging ass to the treadmill, but you're doing it because you know you have to.
Right.
And
it's definitely mindset. It's mindset and discipline for sure.
I don't know if you remember the Warriors ethos in the Army.
Mm-mm.
I think if I'm remembering right, it's the ones I remember is always place the mission first, never accept defeat.
Yes,
and then
I do remember that.
Never leave a fallen comrade, and something. There's something else, but
right,
those two, always place the mission first, never accept defeat. So the mission's always first. Every day, my hours are dedicated to what the fuck I have to do to be successful. In the morning, it's fasted. Right after fasted, it's me fasted cardio with my fucking work notebook and both my phones in my hand, figuring out how the day is gonna go.
So how do you juggle all that? Okay, because you're running a pretty big business now, right? You got the business going, and I know because from my business, it was hell. It was hell trying to run my business and hell trying to do everything. Right. I mean, because what do you work out 2 hours a day? You're doing your cardio. Then you're barely eating. You're eating like what, 1,500 calories, if you're lucky.
If that.
If you're lucky, right? 1,500 calories. You're sleep deprived. You're freaking tired as hell, and the only thing you're like, all I want to do is take a nap.
I take it like hour by hour, meal by meal. That's it. Like, yeah, it's shitty, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to get home and sleep. But I'm like, okay, you can't think like that. That's forever from now.
Right.
Think about what you have to do in an hour. Once you get that done, think about what you have to do next. And I kind of just keep rolling. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I like checking off shit off the list. It makes me feel good. And I have no choice. If I stop working, my guys don't have jobs.
Right.
If I don't get them jobs, they can't feed their families. So it's like, it's a lot of pressure, and I think that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, when you got other people responsible for what you do, it definitely
Yes.
keeps you going, for
Yeah.
sure.
You're worried
You
about it
don't-
the first moment you wake up. This
Mhm.
morning, I'm like, oh shit, like, did they deliver based on my job? I'm finding out as soon as I wake up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think on the prep side, I am so goal oriented, and I know that I can get to the Olympia, that every single day I just need to do everything I can to get there, to prove to myself that I can. You know what I mean?
So is
Just-
this the New Yorker? Is that the biggest show that you've done?
That's going to be
The biggest one?
Yeah. I think the New York and the Pittsburgh Pro.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's usually pretty big.
Yeah, outside of like Olympia and Arnold, those are pretty much the big guys.
The big ones.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how you do, because I mean, you already
I
been
am
crushing it. Like there's no doubt in my mind that you'll be in the Olympia at some point, right?
Yes.
I mean, hopefully it'd be this year, but
Hopefully this year. If it's not this year, then it's not, you know what I mean?
Right. It's going to happen. I
Yeah.
see it. I mean, you've got the look, the physique, so like it's just a matter of time and when it does happen.
Yeah.
you
And I'm
know?
being patient. All I can do is do my best. That's it.
Did you think it would go this fast when you first started all this?
Absolutely not. I swear it was just like, let me do one show to see what's up. And then now I'm on a roll, and I'm getting my pro card, and then it's like, once you get a pro card, it's like, okay, what's the next step? You're at the bottom again.
Well,
how can I
what
elevate?
Debbie's going through right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's got her pro card in November, and she's like, "What the fuck do I do now?"
Yeah, you're just kind of like a pro. Like, it's
Right.
just like being an amateur.
I
You're
know.
just sitting there, and you're like, okay,
But
like,
now I'm at the bottom again.
now I'm at the bottom, and I have to fucking work my way up. And
Right.
I think that's what keeps me like really busting my ass, I think.
Because
Yeah.
that's the tough part. Because now it's like, okay, well, the competition is completely different on a whole new level. You know,
You see these girls backstage, and it's like, how is that even real? How do your glutes almost go down to your hamstrings, like your knees?
Right.
It's crazy.
And you're just sitting
it's
there,
incredible.
and it's once you get to and getting into that level. Just getting to that level is tough enough. I think they said they don't issue a lot of pro cards. I think it's like 300 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's small compared
It's
to all
small.
the competitors across the world.
And they and they keep trying and trying. It's the same people trying again. So
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, for you to do it as fast as you do. I mean, it took Debbie 4 years to get her pro card, and so like, I mean, and there's still people that I know that are still trying to get their
Yeah.
pro card. And what drives me also crazy though is there's a lot of people out there that think that they're just going to walk on stage and get their pro card. I hear it all the time.
Yes, because it happens.
It does happen, but
It
the
happens,
thing is
but
like
you have to literally be like genetically gifted.
Yep.
You have to be the hardest fucking worker in the room. You have to have the mindset. You cannot stop. And it's hard to find that in one person. Like, very few people have all of those things.
to check all those boxes,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, yeah, if you're one of those chosen few, right?
Yeah.
But for most people, I think the expectation, obviously you want to have the expectation that you're going to win,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you need to also be realistic with yourself. There's a lot that goes into this business.
Yes.
There's a lot of political stuff that goes into this
Trust
business.
me, I've been part of that.
So, right, you know about politics in this
Yes.
business. So, like, that's the thing is, like, you see this, and it takes time to know the judges. It takes time to know the people.
Yes.
It takes time to do your rounds, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm
so, like,
showing face.
right. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you got to be out there. They got to know who you are, right? You got to
Yeah.
get time in front of them and pay your dues to get you to the point that you can get to that point. So people notice, you'd be like, hey, yeah, I know Chris, it's like, because then you get a little bit extra look. I mean,
Yes.
it's just the way it works. It's like,
It is, yeah.
because they see you. If you're just walking right in and they don't know who you are, then you're just a regular person until you put in the time.
Yeah, I think you gotta be, you gotta really be on your shit and know you're undeniable to come in thinking that. But I think that's how I kind of was. My mindset kind of was at the time. because I mean, everybody says this, but everyone knew, like, Alice is busting her ass 24/7. When you get to the point where you don't have to say it, everyone around you just already knows what your life is like. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you can have that certain kind of attitude that, okay, I'm really built for this shit. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? If you look the part.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think the thing is like, well, you want to be confident, right? Obviously,
Yes.
what you're doing, you're going on stage, you're being in front of people, you got to do your thing.
Yes.
So you want to be confident. You want to go in there and look, I'm in here to kick your ass. I mean, that's what you're there
Yes.
for, right? You can't just go in there and be like, oh, well, you know, because in a lot of ways, I knew I wasn't trying to win anything because I wasn't really built the way that I needed to be built.
Yeah.
For me, I just wanted to do it because it was my 50th birthday.
That's pretty fucking awesome, though. I'm sure you learned a lot for your 50th.
Well, I did. And it's like, and I was like, you know, and everybody kept asking me, they're like, well, don't you want to go on a cruise? No, I want to do the show.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
That's your goal.
That was my goal
Yeah.
for my 50th birthday is I wanted to go on stage. So I did it. Was like 6 days after my birthday. And I did the Ironman here. I didn't win anything. I didn't even come place. But the thing is I did it for me. And, you know, so I wasn't, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like the experience.
It's a drive, and you get to show day, and it's like, I'm finally here.
Yes.
It's been months.
That's how I felt. It was like,
Yeah.
I didn't care what I placed. I mean, I cared. You know, I was going to care, right? But like, it was just like once you stepped on stage and you got that feeling that I finally did it. I finally made it here.
Yes.
And I wasn't one of those ones that said, "Oh, I'm doing a show. I'm going to do a show." And how many people have we heard say that they're going to do a show and never do a show? You know. So I was like, I didn't want to be that person. I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm just doing it.
I think that's a good way to look at it because you're doing it for yourself and not being greedy about what the universe is going to gift you. You know what I mean? I've left the show without a medal before. Happy because I got there, and I just proud of myself for being on stage and doing my best and hitting all my turns right, because you know you're freaking out about your routine.
Make sure you hit it right, hit the right thing.
And then you got somebody next to you. I've had like fellow competitors like complaining on their IG story that they didn't win, they didn't walk away with a medal. And I'm like, you can't expect this shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it, but I've been in the position to be mad before, thinking that I was supposed to place. But like you said, you got to play the game. You got to do your time, and I think it's taken me a long time to get to that mindset to finally realize.
You got to realize that there. I mean, it's going to happen as long as you stay consistent with it, right? And you know, and that's the thing. I mean, that's what Debbie was. I mean, for 4 years, she was consistent.
Such a badass.
She was consistent every time, right? She was always on it. She was always getting to the next level.
Yeah.
And her goal is okay. The first thing I want to do is I want to win an overall, and I want to win a sword. Well, she did that with the ruby.
Yeah.
So that was like 2 months before she got her pro card at nationals, but like that was her goal, and she won her goal, and she's like, okay, I'm ready. And then she went in and she got her pro card.
Damn. And each time that you don't win, you are learning so much more than when you do for the next show.
Especially if you take the judges' feedback. That's the biggest thing.
Yes.
But you got to get the judges' feedback. If you don't get their feedback, then you're
doing it for no reason.
Right.
You're just up there to play a game at that point. Like,
right. Yeah. Learn what you like need to work on. Right.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you know, I know that especially with Debbie, because I've been watching her. I mean, she's been doing it for so long. You know, it was always the same thing. It was always her, you know, her quads and her, you know, hamstrings. That's where she struggled.
In
like
the legs.
In the legs.
Yeah. Is she? What is she taller?
Huh?
How
So
tall
she's
is
like
she?
5'5".
Okay.
So she's 5'5", but that's where she's always, her upper body is just massive.
Yeah.
And but her legs she's always struggled with, and so like she finally. But what's kind of crazy is we didn't start carb cycling until last year.
Okay.
And we never did carb cycling before. She started carb cycling, and it
worked for her.
It went right away.
Shit. Yeah, you gotta go through shit to find that.
Oh,
out.
that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing is finding things that work for you, right? Because in this industry, when it comes to bodybuilding, not everything works for everybody, right?
No.
And you can't, like, some people, like, I mean, I started doing carb cycling, and then all of a sudden it just started falling off.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then you're like, well, why wasn't I doing it sooner? And then, but you
gotta,
learn.
Yeah,
you learn different things. You learn different tricks. Peak week, like what you're going through right now. All right, what do I eat? What do I do? All right, how much carbs am I going to have this day? When can I eat? When can I have that rice cake?
Yes. Oh my God, I can't wait for the rice cake, the almond butter. Oh my God.
And so,
yeah, we messed up. Me and my coach. We didn't mess up. It was our first show together. But now that it's done, we messed up because we
you learned,
done better. We
know?
learned.
Do you have a posing coach?
I do. Her name is Samantha Jerry.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
She lives in Miami.
Okay.
So I drive there sometimes. We do online stuff, but we did not feed me enough. I don't think we realized.
You didn't fill out?
I didn't fill out enough.
Yeah.
I don't think we realized how fast my metabolism actually works, especially on peak week.
So I saw your thing, and and you did look like you were a little bit skinnier than normal.
I was very, very flat. I was flat, and we dropped my water way too hard, which we learn now. Like we don't need to manipulate water that much.
Right.
Now we just know we need to load me up with more carbs, and that's the experiment this next show. Let's see what we do. You know what I mean? We're changing everything, so I'm excited.
So walk us through what's your peak week like? So what's the rest of the week like for you?
The rest of the week, I will work out until like Wednesday. Thursday will be my last workout. I'll stop doing cardio on Thursday. Right now I'm doing an hour treadmill in the morning.
Okay.
I kind of like it. It's my little
uphill.
Yeah,
just walking?
incline walk. Yeah, I like it because it keeps my mind going while I'm working.
Okay. So you sitting there working while you're doing it?
Yeah,
okay,
I
gotcha.
bring my book and I'm just texting all my clients.
There you go.
But yeah, I will probably get 3 carb meals till Wednesday. Then Wednesday will probably go up to 4.
Okay.
On Friday, I will get a burger.
Ooh, that's always fun, right?
Yeah, always fun. And then I stop drinking water the night before the show. Mm-hmm. That'll be my last sip is like right before bed, the night before the show, and then no water really the next day. Just a whole lot of carbs. We do muffins, rice cakes, rice, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. Almond butter.
Almond butter. I've already bought a new jar. I can't wait.
And that's what you look for too when you do these shows, though?
Even like in the morning with an egg yolk.
I know.
I'm like looking forward to my yolk every morning. Like your body fiends for fat and carb. It's crazy.
I know.
I can smell the bread aisle like in Publix, like 3 aisles away. Noses.
What's your workout like? What's your workout routine normally?
Okay.
Before all the peak week stuff happened.
I was doing 2 shoulder days a week, 2 back days, 3 leg days. That's 7. I was doing like no rest day at all before. We changed everything up with my coach now. I'm doing 4 leg days, primarily glutes. So I am sore.
Working
I live on the second floor, working that booty every day. And then I'll do like a back workout and a shoulder workout. My shoulders are big enough now.
Yeah, you got a good size on them.
Yeah, I can kind of chill out on them, but
because you don't want to get too big there.
Yeah, no, it's really about getting that glute and the hamstring tie-in for me right now.
That's the hardest part for Debbie. It was the tie-ins.
It's literally the hardest thing to fucking get because that's where we hold our fat as women.
Exactly.
So
and like men held it in their stomach, women held it back there.
Yeah,
that's usually the typical place, But I mean, looking at you would think, oh wow, she looks great. But like when you go up on stage and then you're looking,
when you go up on stage,
it's
and you
completely
look at
different.
Yourself, you're like, whoa, I'm tiny. Whoa, these girls are like
different.
Horses up there. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I know. And it's like even when I went on stage and I'm like looking at these dudes next to me, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? Like usually I'm in the gym and I'm like, I'm usually pretty good compared to everybody else.
I'm like, oh, you go to a competition, you're like, oh my God.
So that's the other thing. So part of it, so you work out, but are you doing like 2 hours of working out a day or what's your time frame like?
So I'll wake up in the morning at like 6:37 and go do my hour of cardio. So that's already an hour out of my day. Then I got to come upstairs, shower, eat, go to work. And then I'll come home at like 5:30, 6:30, whatever, when the day's over. And I'll go do another a lift session. Usually it's like an hour and a half. Sometimes I take my time on legs. And then
now, are you doing that with a coach or like do you have a trainer there or do you do it by yourself?
I've been actually working out by myself.
Okay.
when I get deep in prep, I isolate myself a lot.
Yeah.
I like to just be in my zone, and I think it works the best for me because I'm just in my head. I know what I have to do. I'm in my thoughts, and I just, the gym is like therapy. I just like to deal with them there.
Right.
So, yeah. What was I going to say about, and then I pose after
Because
I
you could
work
pose is
out.
another part of it. Yeah.
Dude, if you don't spend at least 30 minutes a day posing, then you have to, because it could make or break your physique. Sometimes I will not sink into my hip as much as I need to be, and my whole glute just goes away. And I'm like, wow, there it is right there. You know what I mean? Like, you lost it.
Exactly.
Just by a little inch.
But that's the thing is, like, I
movement.
don't think most people realize is that being a competitive bodybuilder or being in that arena, it's a full-time job.
It is.
With the food and everything else, because I see you're wearing Jack Panda from.
Yeah,
Do you get
Jack Panda saves my life, dude. Before Jack Panda, I was meal prepping for like 2-3 hours every couple days. Like, that was another thing that I was like, okay, I physically can't fit that in my day after being at work and spending 3 hours in the gym. It's, how do you, you're like 11, 12 hours into your day, and then you got to shower, drive, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, Jack Panda saves my life.
So,
I get my
yeah,
food
so
from
Jeff
him.
was on our show. He was like I want to say he was the third or fourth person on my show. So have you been to his shop?
Yes, I go there all the time.
So if
yeah.
you go there, this.
Oh yeah, I got. He has a big
sign
flag up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got that from me. So when I have one in my office at home, but they sent me two. And so I was talking to him. He's like, "Why don't you just hang it here?" And so
It
we
looks
put
pretty awesome up there. It's like right there by the cash register.
Yeah. So we put it in his location. But that's where, because I was talking to him about, I was just trying to find some place to put it, and he's like, "I'll take it," and we put it up there. So he's an awesome guy. He's grown a lot too. He's like came out of nowhere.
He is. I'm rooting for him this year. He's looking different. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
awesome.
well, I competed against him last year.
Did you really?
Yeah, we both did.
You did do the Ironman. I
yeah,
remember.
so we competed, but we went. I think we went up against each other in over 40.
Okay.
Because I think he's like 45 or something like that.
He is somewhere around there. I think.
So we competed against each other last year. Of course, he blew me away, but but he looks really good. But he always looks good. Like, I'm just like, dude, how do you keep that physique all the time?
It's literally his food, though.
Yeah.
It's like it's so clean. I mean, the nutrition is everything. Trust me, as soon as I get off this diet, that shit goes away in like 4 days. It's like, oh, where's my abs? All right.
Well, that's the biggest thing is, like, when people would always come up to Debbie and stuff like that, and we would talk about like eating.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's like, oh, you look so good. What's your secret? And it's like, it's food.
It's food, dude.
You could train. It's just like the training is the easy part. It's the nutrition.
Because you want to eat more, even if the food, like, I'm a pretty clean eater myself. I love eating steak and rice and chicken and whatever, but the amount, so little. You want to eat more, and you want to eat more fats and more carbs. You don't have.
That's the hard part.
It's
like, if you're not,
it's a
and that's the
mental
thing. Is
challenge.
like, so tracking your food and everything else is like that's so important. You don't realize, because the thing is like, when you start measuring out and you're like, okay, I can have a half a cup of rice, and you're like, that's all that is? I usually eat like 3 times that amount.
Dude. It breaks my heart to find out how much a half cup. You think, when you reading ingredients and stuff, you think like, oh, okay, and then you look at it, and then it's like, wait, but I just got off the treadmill. Like, my body's basically gonna eat through this shit in like 10 minutes, and then you're hungry again. I don't know.
That's the hard part, because the food that you get, the amount of food that you get, and like, not only but that's anything. Like, you'll go have, like, even if you wanted a bowl of cereal, right, or something like that, and you're measuring it out, and you're like, you just look at it. It's nothing that you would think, because you're just used to dumping it in the bowl. Yeah. And you're like, and then when you actually measure something, you're like, it's nothing in the bowl.
But I think it's the calories, though.
Yeah.
It's the macros, because you could get that same amount of calories in like this much amount of vegetables. You know what I mean? Like, literally a pile.
Steel cut oatmeal was always like a big go-to for me, because like it's 150 calories, and it was filling. So that's why I love steel cut oatmeal.
That sounds delicious.
I know, right?
Like water.
I think it's like, what, 28 grams of carbs. So like, I mean, that was our big thing.
Yeah.
We ate, when we were cutting, and we were only allowed 100 and some grams of carbs. You know, so we would have oatmeal just because it was filling. You know,
Oatmeal's
and it's
my
weird.
favorite.
But it's weird. Some people so depending on who your coach is.
Yes.
So some people say that you can have it's a starchy. You can have your potato, your rice, or that.
Yeah.
And vegetables don't count. And then some people will say, oh no, vegetables count. You need to add those in. And it's like some coaches will say, oh, about the vegetables.
Yeah.
Because some will be like, no, eat as much greens as you want.
My coach doesn't really doesn't care about the vegetables part. Right now I'm only doing cucumber, but before it was just like, to be honest, sometimes I don't even like using vegetables. If I have rice, I don't.
Yeah, I don't need it.
It's like the vegetables are there to act like carbs.
Right.
Basically.
They're playing off the carbs. But we would have like broccoli or, and that kind of stuff, or the asparagus.
Yeah.
But some people would be like, no, you got to include that. And I'm like, okay. So
they're like 15 I mean, I guess.
I guess, right? But it's
Yeah.
like, it's nothing there. And it's like, okay, well, that was 15 calories, but it was 10 grams of carbs, where I could have some 10 grams somewhere else.
Yeah, I got to be careful as well. I was eating corn, I think, in the beginning of prep. And I told my coach, I'm like, hey, I've been doing corn. Is that okay? He's like, cut the corn out immediately. Yeah. I guess it has sugar and carbs.
The sugar.
I'm like,
it turns
sorry.
into sugar. Yeah, so it turns into sugar, which isn't good. And so, well, I appreciate you coming in.
Of course,
this is
dude.
awesome.
That was a great
I'm excited
combo.
I'm excited to watch where you go. I'm excited to see you on that Olympian stage at some point.
Me too.
It's here in Orlando, so that would
It's here in Orlando. I'm telling you,
it's got to be this year, right?
It's got to be this year
because I'm gonna come cheer you on.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's gonna happen.
So it's like that's always exciting. I mean, just to even if you didn't place, which obviously you want to win it, right?
Yeah.
But just to say that you're an Olympian, I mean, just to hear that,
just to be like, hey, I'm one of the 50.
Yeah.
What is it? 50, 55 girls in the whole world.
But see, they changed things, didn't they? This year, didn't they change it?
They took shows away, so it's less shows to qualify.
Because now, if you win an overall show, then you can if you win like the New Yorker, right? You automatically get in.
Yes.
And then there's also are they still doing the point system?
They're not doing the point
That's
system.
what it was. It was the point system.
I agree with. I agree with that.
You agree with that?
I'm not gonna lie. I think that the Olympia is such like it's the
I think it was too many people getting in with the points.
Yeah, and I think that if not that you can't win a show, but if you didn't win a show, you shouldn't be at the Olympia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with it.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like it's supposed to be the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the best of the best. Number one.
Right.
That's
so
what we
you
want
shouldn't
to
get there
see.
on a point system. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I got 50 points, I'm in,
Yeah,
or whatever
no.
it was.
I agree with it. I would, even if they had it, I don't think I would ever go to the Olympia off points.
Still?
No,
No?
I want a dub. Like for myself, I want.
Well, that's the thing. Is like you can compete, right?
Yeah.
So like if you won a show, all right, I'm here. I've arrived.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm beating out these people to earn a spot there.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people, they'll just do show after show after show before last year when they did the points just to get there.
Yes.
And they kept
there
doing,
was girls doing like 30.
Oh, yeah, they did
like
all kinds of
20s,
shows.
30 show. Like I think 19 shows or something. Like that's a lot of weekends back to back.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad for your body, really. I mean, this shit is not healthy.
No, it's not. And the thing is, if you're doing it that much, it's kind of crazy, which is why I find it weird. So Natalia, you know who she is, right? The one of the physique.
Women's physique.
Women's physique Olympia. Natalia, I can't remember her last name.
It's like Coelho. She's Brazilian.
Yeah, so she keeps doing shows. I'm like, you're already in. Why do you keep doing all these shows?
See, I don't get it either. I think she did the Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I don't know if she's doing New York.
But she just won one.
It's because of the judging panel. That goes back to what we were talking about, getting to know certain judges, showing your face. All the judges from the Olympia are on the Pittsburgh Pro. That is the Olympia judging panel right there.
Is that Steve?
It's Steve Weinberger,
yeah.
Sandy, Tyler, Till, like literally all of them.
Right.
So you want to be on that stage in front of them, which hopefully, I'm not sure if they'll all be there next week or this weekend, but hopefully they're all there because, you want to be like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm bringing you. And I think people do it sometimes for feedback too. Yeah. You know? But some girls, they go just to keep going.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I don't disagree with them because if it were me and I'm winning shows back to back, I would probably keep going too and be like, damn, if I made it this far, let's see how how much further
Right.
I can go. Let's see
Well, I'm
if I
sure
can keep
the
winning.
endorsements come in too, more too. The more
Yes,
show you
of
do.
course.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is everybody's goal. So
Right, because you want to get endorsed by, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Brandon Hickerson, I think is his last name. The guy, he lives down in Miami.
Yeah.
The one that won men's physique. I don't know if he won last year. but
Hendrickson.
Hendrickson.
Yes. Yeah.
But he does Celsius. So he's a Celsius.
Yeah.
Like he's sponsored
Celsius,
to-
and I don't know if Dark Sport does endorsements, but he's part of Dark Sport. He's like one of their guys. It's pretty cool. I don't know though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's really where you want to take your career, right? So if you want to get into this world, in that world, you really want to get to the point where you're getting sponsored.
Yeah.
And that's where you make your money.
I think that's where I battle with it because I'm so successful outside of bodybuilding that I think I do it because I love it. And
Well, you
I'm
gotta
not-
love it. If you don't,
If you don't love it, I mean, fuck.
No, you don't. You got to love this.
But
Like Debbie's mentality is so different than mine. Like you can just see the love in what she does,
the
and
passion, the
for it.
obsession.
Well, she's
really.
obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Like we were away last week, and I mean, I worked out a couple times. She was in the gym every day.
Yeah, that's
like
me.
every day.
Yeah.
And it's like she went to the crappy hotel gym, like had like
And
5 weights in
give
it.
me a dumbbell, and that's all I need. I'm gonna make something happen.
Right,
Yeah.
so she'll go to the gym and she'll just make it happen. And I'm like, dude, this gym sucks. I hate it. I'm like, I went down there twice. I'm like, I'm bored out of my flipping mind. I was like, I need my real gym. And so it's like, but like she just makes it. I mean, it's such a different mentality when you go to that level. And
Yeah.
I can't get to that level because it's just not my passion.
It's not your passion. Yeah,
this
it's
is
not
like
for
my
everyone.
this is like my passion.
Yeah.
Right. So like and so like doing this kind of stuff, but like that there. I mean, I love it. I loved when I get on stage, and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I'm not like. First of all, I know I'm way too old now to really go anywhere. But I wish I would have found it sooner.
Yeah.
But like it's just the mindset for all that, and I love the way it, like the discipline part, because it does make
Yeah.
you stronger.
I think it's everybody has their different avenues. Like for us, it's our physique. So we're looking at our check-in videos all day. We're weighing out our food. We're making sure we're working out each part of our body, isolating that muscle that really needs to grow. And you're probably in here like, which mic sounds the best on my podcast? Which headphones can I use? How can I set up my camera? You know what I mean? Like,
So these
everybody
guys take
has-
care of all that stuff. So
Yeah.
what I look at though is, how do I get it out? The content. How do I make
Yeah.
it grow? How can I get you out there more? How do I get this to be bigger out there in the
Yeah.
world? Like that's my passion.
that's your passion.
So,
That's
like,
your
yeah,
obsession.
so that's my obsession, right? So
Yeah.
how can I grow it? Because I want to get as many listeners as we can to listen. And to listen to your story and listen
Yeah.
to other people's stories. Like it's not even about me. Like I had my success. I have success with mortgage business, so I do well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share other people's success.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
And that's where
Yeah.
and that's why I started the podcast, because I wanted to share people's success and hear their success, because it's all different types. I would have never ever in a million years thought that you own a paving company. I mean that's the thing is
I
like
pull up in the truck and they're like, "Is that your dad's?" I'm like, "Nah, I got pavers in the back."
I mean you got that big ass truck too. It ain't your little truck. And I'm like, okay.
Everybody's like, "Who's that little bikini girl jumping out of there?" Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. You got a big
nice.
truck and a little. So, but everybody's got their thing. But it's just that's the thing we talk about a lot on the podcast is finding your passion, finding what you're good at,
Yeah.
and loving what you do. And if you could figure that out, you're gonna be successful in life.
Yeah.
So we'll end it there.
We'll end it there, bro. That was awesome.
You can help support our podcast by checking out our Real Hustle gear. We have t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, hats, and more. Let everyone know that you're a real hustler, willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. You can check us out right now on realhustle.com. And right now, we are offering all of our listeners 10% off when you use the promo code PODCAST at checkout. Once again, that is PODCAST to receive 10% off your entire order.